Hey guys, Andrew here, and if you read the thumbnail or the title of the video, we are talking about Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack. So first things first, where do you go to find all this cool information? Well, on your Nintendo Switch, scroll down to the little red circle with the Nintendo Switch icon that says Online. Go ahead and click into Nintendo Switch Online, and we'll let that load for a second. I'll choose Abby's name. And this gets you to the Nintendo Switch Online space. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, Nintendo Switch Online is a service offered by Nintendo, surprise, surprise, that gives you access to online play, some of their original emulators, so like the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and then now the Nintendo 64. You also get what I would say is probably the most important part of Nintendo Switch Online, and that's Save Data Cloud, which is basically their cloud backups. If you have iCloud on your phone or Google One or any service that basically backs up your stuff remotely to the cloud, that's what this is for your games. Highly, highly recommend it. You would hate to lose your Switch. That's already just a terrible experience. But then to know all of your progress is lost as well is always a second little gut punch there. So it's a pretty cheap service. In addition, you do get access to some special offers, some cool games like Pac-Man 99, Tetris 99, and then game trials, as well as what I think is really, really neat, some physical products. Specifically, if you're a fan of the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the 64, or as I referenced, the Sega, and that's kind of what the 64, we'll get to that in a second, you can purchase controllers that'll work for your Nintendo Switch that lets you play those emulated games with the hardware of their day. So you could use the controller to play Super Mario, or use the Super Nintendo controller to play Super Mario World, or the Nintendo 64 controller to play Mario Kart 64. And then Sega to play those cool Sonic games. You'll have to forgive me, I'm not really a Sega kid. I didn't grow up with it, so this is all new to me, but I think that's really great. There's some other in-game benefits as well. Some real cool stuff in there, and they usually try to update this as time kind of moves forward. So the base option for Nintendo Switch Online came with that online play, the Super Nintendo, and the Nintendo Save Data Cloud special offers. They've now added the expansion pack, which is an additional fee, which gets you all of what I just described, plus the Nintendo 64 and Animal Crossing DLC. So if you're a fan of Animal Crossing, this downloadable content, which is what DLC is an add-on to it that is just fantastic. It's a great improvement. They add a lot of really great features. Abby will probably do a video for it. And then, of course, you get the Sega Genesis with a bunch of games. Now, at launch, which is right around the time of this video, there's not a ton of Nintendo 64 games or Sega Genesis games that are released. But just like with the NES and the Super NES, Nintendo will be adding more games in the future. So that's really great. So really cool product. For membership options, this is where it gets real fun and a little bit math heavy. Pretty simple math, but still worth pointing out. So Nintendo Switch Online itself can be an individual membership, which is that one section at the top there on the right, or you can have a family membership that allows for 8 users to share in this plan. You can share that with your friends and your family. They don't have to be in your home. And that's $34 for the family for 12 months or $19.99 for 12 months for the individual membership for Nintendo Switch Online. I highly recommend, if you're on the fence of any of this, you should definitely get just Nintendo Switch Online for the online play and the save cloud backups. Those are huge. You don't want to lose your progress, and the ability to play online is pretty cool. Nintendo's really good about if you have kids. There's no real way for anybody to message your children in this platform, so there's no worries there. It's just the ability to play some games online and back up your stuff. Now, getting into the expansion pack, that's where the prices go up a little bit. So the individual membership for 12 months is $14.99, and then the family pack for those 8 users is $79.99 or $80. What you get with the expansion pack is, again, everything I referenced plus Nintendo 64, that DLC, which you can also buy the DLC separate. I think it's around $30 or around there. And then you also get the Sega Genesis. So that's a little bit on what Nintendo Switch Online is. We have the family pack and we have the expansion pack as well, which is why we are here. So let's close this and let's check out what we get with Nintendo 64. Now, one of the really cool things, oops, oh goodness, hit the same button again, is you can, like I referenced, use those controllers to really enjoy the experience. So what I have in my hands, which you can't really see, is the Nintendo 64 controller. So I'm going to play Nintendo 64 games with that Nintendo 64 controller. So we'll dive right in and check this out. Go ahead and start our software. And right away you can see the app showcases the controller for the system. And then you get some of those games. Like I said, it's kind of bare bones at the moment, but some really core classics. I grew up playing The Legend of Zelda, so that's a huge game for me. And it looks like Mario Kart 64, which is probably what we'll test out. I'm going to switch over to one player. Oh boy. And I'm going to set up my controller. There it is. You can even see it. So I'm not fooling you. I'm using the Nintendo 64 controller. So that's super cool. All right. So let's go ahead and just sort of talk about some of these. Dr. Mario 64. Now, I didn't ever grow up with that one, but those of you that are fans, I think you'll love it. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That is my jam. I'm a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series. I'm a latecomer to it. I actually didn't play it during the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo era, but my first really outing with Link as Zelda, Ganon, and the crew was the Ocarina of Time. So we'll definitely be doing a video for that. And then, of course, you have Mario Kart 64, which is an amazing classic. Definitely one that I owned as well. Mario Tennis is super fun. I did not play this game, Win Back Covert. I also absolutely owned Super Mario 64. That was probably the first game I ever played on the 64. Star Fox 64 is an amazing game as well. And then, of course, you have Yoshi's Story. Now, I'm not really sure what this game is. It looks like they might have ported a game from Japan for us. But there's a trailer that Nintendo has on their site that you can see some additional games that are going to be coming out. So more to come. Let's get in and check this out. So Mario Kart 64. And it looks like if I press ZR, I can suspend the game. Let's try that real quick. Boop. Very cool. So that lets me see those pieces, and then we can see what the user guide has for us. So that just shows me what other buttons I have. So it's really cool. They kept the 64 true to form, but then they did add some of those extra switch options, like the capture button, the home button, and then ZR. So those are at the top. I won't have to use those right now, though, so we'll pop out. We'll hit continue. We'll dive right in. Already I'm getting that real cool nostalgic feel, and my goodness, doesn't some of this just look so pixelated now, looking back when you play like games like Super Mario Kart Deluxe. In any case, let's dive in and check this out. So of course we're gonna do 150, because why not? When you're that rusty, it's good to just play that way. So I'm a fan of Toad, but I think for this outing we should probably stay true and use Mario. So we'll dive right in with him. Abby probably would have preferred Luigi, but that's okay. Yeah, let's do Luigi's Raceway then. So we'll start this up. We'll give this a shot. So there has been some conversation in the news on some of the gaming news sites around the emulations of some of these games not being 100% accurate to what was initially released on the 64. And that's probably true. Emulating systems sounds like it should be very simple. It's actually very, very difficult. A lot of times the systems that they built, oh boy, I'm off the road, for those older consoles like the 64, the Super Nintendo, the GameCube, basically anything, oh my gosh, I need to not talk and drive. Basically anything like that, the architecture is just not the same from system to system. It's not like what we sort of do today, where you try to build backwards compatibility in. It just wasn't really a thing then. So I think I'm fortunate that the game is being generous to me, and I'm just going to continue forward, but I probably should have deserved second place. In any case, this feels really good to me. I'm even doing my little boost here. I remember doing that as a kid growing up. Toad, what are you doing? You slowed down. Ooh, Bowser got taken out too. So far, this feels really good to me. There might be a delay, but I'm not really noticing it. So that's great. Whoa, who's throwing bananas? Where did Peachy come from? She must be in like last or something. Hope it didn't lap her. That is cruel. Oh my gosh, I went right into that banana. That's okay. One of the other neat things about this, see, this is where you guys can see I am not a very good go-kart driver. Let's do these skids. Woo! One of the other really cool features, what I think really makes this service worth it, not just because you get these games from your childhood, but you, oh, Bowser, jerk. But you can also play them online. So that was not something you could do when the original 64 came out, which is super cool. We can actually play Mario Kart 64 with 3 of our friends with online play. So that's fantastic. What I might do is just quit out and kind of show you, but so far this game played just fine to me. I was a terrible driver, but the experience felt very quick, snappy to me. I didn't really notice any issues, so that's awesome. Probably one of the more boring levels to see somebody just do terrible at. But let's go ahead and let's go back to the game selection and we'll talk about what I was referencing. So on the left-hand side here, we have a menu where we can see one player, play with everyone, so you can play with other people in your household, and you can play online, which I've never done this. I think we're just going to try it. Let's see how it works. So I wonder if you have to play with friends or if you can play with just people on the internet. So we may find out that we can't do this today, but I promise you, Abby and I will do a video where we're racing against each other online. So you can play multiplayer games online with up to 3 friends. Already, so far, it feels like I'll probably just be able to play with my friends. You can start playing while you wait for your friends to join. You can communicate using the voice chat if you have the Nintendo Switch Online smartphone app. I'm going to just ignore that part. Let's see. Connecting to the internet. So far, so good. Unable to find friends. Oh, that probably hurts a little bit. So it doesn't look like you can just play with the internet. You probably have to play with somebody in your friend group. So that's okay. We'll do a separate test for that. Let's see what settings has. It's always fun to poke around. Oh, very cool. So yes, you can have Rumble turned on. Now, I'm using the 64 controller, and you have to buy an optional expansion pack to actually have Rumble, if I remember back during when this released. On these devices, it looks like they've closed that, so there will be no Rumble with the 64, which is a bit of a shame. At least not from what I've noticed so far. And then it looks like I have access to both the North American versions and the EU version. So let's just turn that on and see what we get. Ah, okay. So here's where I can see 2 versions of both The Legend of Zelda that I grew up with, and then one from the, I guess the PAL version, the EU overseas version. So that's pretty cool. If you grew up playing in those regions, I could see where this might be something you'd want to do, just to relive your childhood. We're going to play with everyone. This is where you add your friends. Okay. I think I'm going to turn that off for now. So far, what I'll say here is, if you are thinking of getting this, I would highly recommend maybe splitting the cost with somebody else in your friend or family group. I think it's absolutely worth it because I grew up with these games, but I can see where someone might not feel that it's worth it if they if this is sort of their first time getting a Nintendo Switch and they do not have sort of the nostalgia they have for these games. It probably would still be worth checking out, but maybe start with an individual version or ask to see, or watch videos like this one. For me, as somebody that grew up with a Nintendo 64, this is super cool, and I think playing the online version is going to be just awesome. And plus, if you are somebody that didn't grow up with this, it's really neat to sort of see where we came from and how Nintendo has changed over time. So let's try this. Singles, 2 games. Who are we going against? Luigi? You know it. Start up game. Hardcore. Sure. We'll just take everything standard like we did with Mario Kart. My goodness, look at those polygons. So far, again, the buttons felt snappy to me in the menu, so I've had no real issues. Let's move around. This feels good to me. Wibble wobble. Put that suspend menu again if we want. I don't actually need to do that. So let's see. A and spin. Take that, Luigi. Oh, that was really good. This is much better than my outing in Mario Kart. So I hope that to check your button mapping goes away. That's not necessary. I'm well aware of what I'm doing. This isn't my first time. So what's interesting is when I actually, there we go. Got it. Man, Luigi, you are getting just shown up, my dude. Let's see. I'm just pressing the A button right now. Ooh, everything looks good. Yo, he's coming here now. Oh no, net! Well, I almost had a shutout. All right. So we'll finish this game with Luigi, and then I think we'll kind of give you a final verdict. Woo. Hope my sound effects are helping. My goodness, we're not gonna finish this game with Luigi. He's gonna win. I'm a fan of sound effects when I play, just because it feels like I'm more a part of the game. But your mileage may vary there, so maybe I'll stop with that. One thing I really do like is, I think that's Lakitu with the camera. I think that looks really cool how they use their characters in the Mario universe to sort of feel like they're part of the group. So like, you have what looks like a blue Mario in the top left. Who is that? That's weird, right? I was thinking of the camera guy, but then you have a blue Mario. Who is that? I have so many questions. We're gonna have to, if you guys know in the comments section who Blue Mario is. He's even got the Mario hat. He's no, oh, that's terrible. He's no just like Luigi or Wario. That's an M. Now I'm very confused. Wow, now I can't even get my head in the game. We're gonna lose. Take that. Oh, beans. That's okay. Game point. Obviously, I need to practice a bit. But Blue Mario is throwing me off. So hopefully, people in the crowd can figure that out. I'll look for your responses. Oh, in the face, Luigi. I guess it's not just taking care of ghosts. He's also good at tennis. Nice. Now we're back in business. But so far, this has played very well. Maybe somebody that has, you know, a better eye for that for those kind of glitches and stuff will understand if this is not playing right. But for me, it feels very responsive, and it looks just like I remember the 64. And holding the Nintendo 64 controller actually makes this feel like a much more cohesive experience. When we first sort of got this, we didn't have the controller just yet. We were just using our Wii controllers, our Joy-Cons, or not our Wii, oh my goodness. We were using our Joy-Cons and Pro Controller. And it was fine, it was serviceable, and it didn't really hurt the experience. But I'll be honest, holding the Nintendo 64 controller, playing a Nintendo 64 game, it's fantastic. And plus it's on my Switch, so it's mobile. I can take this anywhere I want. So I think that's just awesome. It's really just an awesome thing. I'm really glad Nintendo did this. They're sitting on such a great catalog of old titles that it's almost like a peanut butter and chocolate or a peanut butter and jelly idea to just start releasing those, and making them into a subscription service really saves me the time from having to buy each one. And as they add more, I can try games that I otherwise may not have actually tried. I'll probably try each one of these games, but if I was just to buy these outright, I probably would have just bought the ones I know. Legend of Zelda, Mario Tennis, Mario Kart, and just stopped. So being able to have this option to sort of see others is really cool. Looks like we are now up. Oh my gosh, there's so much to this. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to stop for now. I'm just using this to kind of show how everything works. I'm going to beat you one more time, Luigi. I'm terrible. Alright, well, forget that. We're going to exit out of here. I will finish this fight with Luigi another time. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool platform. It's really awesome they've done this. Let's go ahead and go back to the home screen, and we'll do a quick run-through on the Sega Genesis. I'm still actually holding my 64 controller, so we will see how navigating this experience is. And I think it's a nice touch that in the bottom left, they actually show that I'm using a 64 controller. So many menus. Yes, I know, there are 2 accounts. I never grew up with a Sega Genesis, so all of this is brand new to me. But it does look like they have quite a few games here. So we have Castlevania, which I've definitely heard of. Contra, which again I heard of, but I've never really played. Dr. Robotnik, I remember he's a character from Sonic. I don't know about Echo the Dolphin, but awesome. Golden Axe looks like a Conan the Barbarian sort of thing. Shining Force just looks kind of neat. These look like really fun games. I will absolutely be checking out all of these. But where is a... Oh, there we go. Sonic the Hedgehog, right there. That's a guy I know, and I've heard of him before. So that's going to be fantastic. Tell you what we'll do. We'll load this up, and we'll just do one little run in here just to see what it looks like. I'm using... Oh my goodness, this is probably... breaking some rules. I'm using a Nintendo 64 controller, playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on a Sega Genesis on a Nintendo Switch. Like, that is layers of wild. 2021 is never a disappointment. So here's something that's kind of wild. I don't remember. Okay, I was like, is it? I thought I clicked one player. Here we go. So let's press start. One player. Emerald Hill. And we're off. Okay. So that's a wall. Can't go any closer. Run in. Go faster, Sonic. Well, it sounds like the Sonics I've sort of heard of in my past. I am probably just doing this such a disservice, though. Oh my gosh, I didn't even make the ramp in the very first Sonic game. Everyone that's played Sonic is going to be very disappointed with me. So I promise I'm not this bad at games. I'm just new to this game. Let's get zing, zing, zing. Oh no, what did I hit that time? Oh boy. We are playing with fire now, folks. Cruise in. Found a secret spot. Oh, yeah, I already found a secret spot. I would say I know what I'm doing. Pro gamer move. I mean, overall, again, game feels responsive, so I don't have any issues with these emulated games. And look at that, I finished my first Sonic level. This is a milestone for all of us. I even got some bonus rings? Oh, a few. Let's get back to that home screen. I guess what I can tell you guys right now is I really like this. I think it's awesome. Abby will be doing something on the Animal Crossing DLC, but overall, Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack, I'm happy with my purchase. What's cool is my friend and family group's going to get to have this as well, so we'll be able to play together. I think this is an awesome deal, and it looks like it's only going to get better as they add more games. So I'd say check it out if you can. Otherwise, stay subscribed for more content, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.